I tried. Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Listen,
you
if we're
guys
not
missed it.
giggling,
Rocco got the last word right before we started right
yep,
before we
Yes.
started the episode.
Time is circular,
it is.
except for when it's not recorded.
Yeah. I love all those
Can't
you
loop
guys ever see
that.
those like reels or TikToks where it's like I got my Gen Z intern to edit this and it's all the clips from right before they do the bit. You know,
Yep.
so it's all those like
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's what I feel like has just happened.
Listen, if we're not laughing and giggling, we're not having fun. We need to have fun. This is Warhammer. This is a game. It's War
Exactly.
Dollars.
This is always strikes last. That's what it is.
Indeed.
I'm
Indeed.
joined by my host, Matt, and for the first time ever, joined by my host, Rocco.
That's right.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.
I got promoted.
There we
Now he's
So that's
stuck
very
with us.
exciting.
Mhm.
Jack is on holidays, and I hope he is having a wonderful time not doing
Yeah.
work, which must be the nicest thing ever. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, right. What is that?
I don't know. I own my own business, so I gotta work all the time.
Ugh,
Ugh,
gross.
it's worth it. Lets me do stuff like this. How we all doing, everybody?
Doing good, doing good.
Doing good as
We have
well.
a bit of business actually to get through the very
Mm,
beginning of this episode, which is we have three new patrons
hell
of the
yeah.
arts. Dylan Thoreau, Mark Murphy, and Kenrick Block. You guys are legends.
Woohoo!
Indeed.
Welcome to the Discord channel. Welcome to the
Hell
show.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Get ready for your little buttons.
Oh yeah, we're making
Ooh.
buttons.
Some dices.
And
Mm-hmm.
dices.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes buttons. We should do patches. I don't know how to do patches,
Ooh.
but I like I feel like this hobby in general is
Mm.
low on patches. We are
It very much
Yeah.
is.
you know,
Yeah. You think like for the gaming clubs and stuff, it'd just be like, and then you can slap it on for all the people you
right?
know you can. Yeah,
Like some
yeah,
of those
We
like
all got our
printable iron
little battle
on,
vests.
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you know how like you had the like grandmothers always
Oh
have
yeah.
the like those iron on birds onto
Hmm.
shirts. You should get
Yes.
some of
Absolutely.
those, right?
Yeah,
Just some
my
iron on birds, but with like, the
yeah, with stripes flying.
logo
Yep,
just
yeah.
stuck right on the head. So it's just a flappy bird with a cartoon
Yeah.
logo head.
I
That's how
love
we
it.
do it.
I love it. My family actually has a tradition for when anyone graduates school, whether it's like middle school, high school, college, grad school. We do iron on shirts of all embarrassing kid photos and baby photos.
Oh, nice.
To
Nice.
go and do like, oh, look how good they go. And I love it. And then it ends up being like a sleeping shirt. You can turn them into pillows later as like a nice memory keepsake of the day. So I'm a fan of this iron on stuff.
That's
It's
super fun.
it's a particular vibe, right?
It is. It is.
I feel like it's a callback to an era too, you know what I mean? Like it's
Mm,
when that
Mm-hmm.
was the technology that made it happen.
yeah.
Some of the best stuff I've gotten was like, or like you remember when Goodwill finds were like a thing that people would
Mm,
do. Goodwill
yep.
fashion
Still a
was
thing.
Mhm.
I
Shout out
guess
Macklemore going
I
thrift
guess
shopping.
man
Dun,
I
dun, dun, dun,
guess.
dun.
Uh,
Get that
but
Pacific
you would
Northwest
always
vibe.
find like the weird shirts with the iron on stuff, a little bit of glitter.
Oh
Yep.
my
There's
God.
always one of them. There's
Or
always
like
one.
a batch printed like really obnoxious shirt from someone's family reunion.
Mm.
It's like the Kendricks visit Manhattan
Yep.
2023 or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm. I think the worst experience would be getting a text from a friend
Hmm.
like years later after they broke up, or after you broke up,
Okay.
getting a one of your old band shirts, like
Ooh.
seeing having them be like, hey, look what I found, it's your old band in a Goodwill.
Uh,
That was a
Oh,
fun one.
mm.
did that? I'm sorry. That's
I
rough.
don't know, I think it's more just one of those like, oh yeah, I'm old now
Yeah.
moments, you know. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's not like, it's just like, that's
Mhm.
very strange. Very strange.
Yeah. You old people. Hmm.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
Exactly.
You know what? I really do love and appreciate Irish Warhammer. Miles, you were at a.
There we go.
Hey, you got him.
There's our
Oh my
twist.
God, the
That's how we
segue
lead
I
is
have
in.
one
actually.
job. It's to bring us back on target. And I tangent so horribly. I am awful for it. I just go off. I won't shut up.
You showed up to the
Uh,
pool
What?
table and you shot the ball off the table.
Yep.
You were
That's
about you were about to just close. You were about to
Mhm,
close the table down.
mhm.
Every ball was going to be sunk, and you just shot it right off the table. It was
Yep.
amazing.
oh my
Got a
God.
scratch.
I love
Ah,
it. Love
So
it.
good. I did, in fact, not to bury the lead. I did
go
actually
on.
go to a GT. It was the Northern
Lucky
Ireland
duck.
GT, the NIGT. It is a fantastic event. If you get a chance, it's in Belfast.
Okay.
It's this year, and they've had it here a couple of years. It's at this music venue, Matt. You would love this.
Ooh,
It's like a very intimate, music venue that they host, and you just like they clear it all out and they just put Warhammer tables, and so like
sweet.
all the soundproofing is all over the walls and stuff like that. It is. I don't know if this is maybe too much of a throwback, but did everybody play Guitar Hero? Not even Rock
Yeah.
Band.
Yeah,
The
the original
first
guitar.
venue that
Yeah.
you're at in Guitar Hero,
Oh, shout out.
where it's like in Boston, right? And it's
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's that size room. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a sweaty room with
Ah,
soundproofing.
Exactly.
I don't remember. I never really played Rock Band. There was um, a friend of mine was really into it, but there
mhm.
was one song. I think it was a hidden song, or it was the last song, and it
Ooh,
was super easy to play. But it
Mhm.
was by this trio. It was a very good song.
nice.
Even Rats, I think, is the name of the song.
Huh.
Okay.
Um, but I don't remember the venue size. All I can think of
Anyway,
is just how nice it is to have sound deadening material when you're in a
mhm.
tournament. That must be so nice.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was, I think, really goes like people don't talk about enough at these tournaments is the bathroom facilities,
Go
while
on.
not like, while not something to really write home about, were
Mhm.
insanely adequate at throughput. You know what I mean? Because, which is
They had the
something really,
volume.
yeah,
More than
Okay.
one stall. More than one
yeah.
More
stall,
than
huh?
one. Let's go. Let's
There's always
go.
there's always the one person who had like too many Burger Kings the night before, and
Oh,
they're just
absolutely.
dropping.
Hmm.
There's your 30 minute in
Painting the
between
town
game, just
brown.
waiting on them, waiting on
Yep.
them.
Can't even go and get food because you're like, ugh.
I can't
Yeah,
fit any
but
more in until I get it out.
But anyway, it's right in the heart of Belfast. It's this super great little venue, and you walk
Mhm.
out after you're done for the day, and all of like the famous Belfast pubs are right there. All the restaurants are
Cool.
right there. Like it's the scenic
Nice.
downtown. Yeah,
Nice.
so really great venue. Um, and I got to play Warhammer, which was great.
There you go.
Yeah, get a little
Um,
break from
Get a
the
little
life,
log
and
out.
exactly right. I played Iron Jaws,
Hell
which
yeah.
was fun. So my goal for this new edition, new army was
Mhm.
to play Cruel Boys, but it is, a proper GT, so there were painting requirements, and I wasn't gonna get
Oh.
Cruel Boys done in time. So we brought the Iron Jaws, and the list submission was 3 weeks ago, so I kind of just,
Hmm.
well, that's probably fine, you
Yeah.
know.
why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, your
Sure.
Yeah.
checkerboard
So
paint too. Your iron jaws are painted really well.
yeah, no, they
Yeah.
did well.
Good.
But yeah, kind of just, eyeballed the list from,
Hmm.
10 yards away and was like, that's probably good enough. It
Hey,
was fine. I think there are some improvements to make. So I had it was a
talk us
two
through it.
drop.
Two drops.
We
Okay. I
went
like
with
that.
Iron Fist, which is the smashing and bashing. So
Hmm.
the first time in a phase that you kill an enemy unit, the next unit to fight gets +1 to hit.
Okay.
which was really good when you kill an endless spell, and then your next
Mhm.
unit gets +1 to hit.
Yeah, that
Mm.
counts now.
Yeah, so that was really nice.
Someone throws a spell portal out, pop it for like 6 or 8 wounds, and you're just like, "Yep, cool,
Yep,
we're
I can kill
here."
that. And then so it was Maw Crusher, Mega
Mhm.
Boss on Maw Crusher with the trophy rack. So he is
Okay,
15 on objectives, and he was Mega Bossy, which means when he charges an 18-inch bubble of +1 to charge.
nice.
That didn't come in as often as I wanted it to. I actually really
Oh,
think there's one that he has that's or that you can put on a Iron Jaws, which is
what do you think?
redeploys are always 4 or better
Yeah,
Yeah,
within range.
that's beyond good. That's
Yeah.
so
yeah.
good. I would do that every
Cool
time,
Boys
all the
has
time.
that off of one
Cool
of
Boys
their
has it as well.
character,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
on some of
just
their heroes built in.
it's nice. You don't think you don't realize just how much that matters until you start rolling those ones, and you're just
Well,
like,
even oh, sorry, go
"Oh,
ahead, go
go on,
ahead.
go on." No, no, no.
Even then, like it's even before you roll those ones, right? So it's the
Hmm.
potential of rolling a one. When you know you have a guaranteed fourth, then what you can do is you can place somebody within a idea of a threat range for a long
Yep,
Sure.
charge or something, and then be
And
yep,
like,
you know it's definitely a 4 or
oops,
better.
yep.
yeah, right? And
No,
then
it's really
force them to
good.
charge somebody else or get
Yeah.
them in a spot
Hmm.
where they have to now make a decision on your terms, which
Yep.
I love that. I
Hmm.
want my armies to have that.
Hmm.
Had reinforced gore gruntas, right? So the piggies.
Nice.
A maw grunta with Hacken crew because I had
Big
50
pig.
points left
The
and
big
I
old
wanted the
checkered,
Hacken crew.
beautiful piece of pork right there.
Yep.
Hmm.
So that's my general's regiment, and then my other regiment was Mega Boss on foot,
Okay.
reinforced brute ragers, reinforced brutes.
What does the Mega
Mm.
Boss on foot bring for you? What's its ability? What are we feeling here?
So he is, I mean, he's a big chunky boy, right?
Yep.
8 attacks, 4 up, 2 up, -1, 2 damage. So he's not too bad. He can
That'd
punch it
do
up
it.
on his own. Um, in the hero phase, on a 2 up, he selects a brute unit, which can be the
Okay.
Ragers or the regular brutes or the Rekkas.
Sure, sure.
On a 2 up, it's +1 attack until your next hero phase.
Nice.
And then in combat, if you select him to go on a 3 up, brute units within combat range of him get a +1 attack. And that combo is a little bit hard to pull off because it's dicey.
Mm.
Not because it's dicey on the 3 up, but because like
He
I
has to
really want to
live.
hit with the brutes before
Yeah.
I don't want to hit with him first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that combo is hard to pull off, but +1 attack is really good and it's very consistent on the 2 up. Um,
Okay.
and he's enough of a threat on his own that people don't feel like they can just throw some chaff into him and kill him.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, they might feel that way, but they're wrong. You
No, I hear you. I hear
They're
you.
wrong.
It's one
Totally
of
exactly.
wrong.
those.
Um,
It's not a
it was
distraction from
fantastic.
effects.
The big fancy thing. I know you guys. We're gonna have Mike on in a future episode to talk more in depth about Iron Jaws.
Yep.
Hmm.
Mike Hammond will be coming on, and that'll be
Exactly.
awesome. Awesome. He says he has some theories of why they're one of the best armies in the game right now.
They,
We're going to hold him to it.
I have
That's a
no doubt that
claim.
he believes that. They are better than I think people are giving them credit for. Um,
Mm.
the entire army is on 3 ups.
Which is great. That
The
that right there.
entire Let me say it again. The entire army is on 3 up saves.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
got your Stormcast level, right?
It's
Stormcast level
amazing.
orcs.
Like that's a +1 to save almost across the board for the entire army.
That's true. But they're also a lot
Um,
slower, right?
they are a lot slower. So we lost. So Mighty Destroyers is now a 3-inch move, but you get to do it in every hero phase as opposed to just yours, which is
Okay.
fun.
That
Now,
And then
is
you
it
lost.
a CP?
No, it's just free. You just do it.
There you go. There's how you do it.
like with one unit or
It's 1 unit. And the fun
still,
thing,
yeah.
thanks to the power of loose wording, uh, if
Go
you're
on.
in combat at the start of the Mighty Destroyers move, you have to leave. You have to end the move also in combat, but you don't have to end it in combat with the same things.
Ah. So
So
Ooh.
it,
instead of smashing and bashing, it should be waiting and bashing.
Yeah, so
reading through.
you can leave
Yeah.
combat and join combat with other things, as long
Okay.
as you can do it within 3 inches of movement.
Nice.
And it's very
Yeah.
like it's very easy to quickly like tag something and be like in someone else's hero phase and be like, cool, you can either fight me or you can retreat.
Mm. So, Miles, if that's the whole list here, I'm not hearing magic and conjurations and stuff. What?
No, no, no. We were on team magic is stupid, punch endless spells.
Okay. Okay. I'm liking this challenge here.
And I think it mostly worked. I went 3-2 for the event,
Hell yeah.
which was great.
Yeah.
Always good. It was my first 5 full-length games of Warhammer Fourth Edition.
Oh God. Yeah. That's a
That
So,
must have
three
been
two is
fun.
amazing.
exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think we did all right. Still got it.
Yeah.
Hooray.
That's good,
Nice.
man. Okay.
So yeah, let me run through these. So, round one, played this
Mhm.
guy, Adam, who had this very gorgeous painted green and white Lumineth army and got
Ooh.
absolutely shredded. That was that
Like
was not a
he was buff.
yeah
No, he's been working out.
He
He's
was
been
buff,
like, we
Earl
got the
yeah,
buff.
exactly,
we
yeah,
got the
yeah.
bicep out there. Not that anyone's gonna see that, but go on.
But yeah,
Shredded, bruh.
he had a block of 20 sentinels. Is it?
Yep.
That's the block you can get
That's the
now.
archers. Yep.
Yep. And they're in the general's battalion for +1 to hit and wound against
Mm-hmm.
your stuff, and then shooting in every phase, in every turn.
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. So then I'm losing half or a full unit every single turn just to that. I
Yeah.
do think in retrospect, I didn't realize how tanky the army is now with the 3-up saves.
Hmm.
Yeah, 3 and up
Um,
is really good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless you run into
And
like
so,
super anti-infantry.
Yeah.
because I'm used to everybody being 4-up saves, at which point you really can't trust them to stick around. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. There's no Mystic
Uh,
Shield anymore. There's a lot of the save stacking is gone. There's some
Yep.
things, but being a straight 3-up
so
is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
it's very
nice.
nice. And so I definitely think in retrospect, I could have played much more aggressively than I had. I was sort of
Mm.
like, dancing around, trying to minimize shooting attacks, trying to get
Yep.
in at very key locations, whereas I could have just plowed right forward and be like, cool, you deal with me.
But you
You,
got
you deal with me or I'm into your archer blob, And
that
again,
makes
those archer
sense.
blobs, they're not shooting combat, right? So if I can tag them, they're not
Hmm.
shooting. Done.
Yep. They're not
Um,
Fusiliers. They're just uh
Exactly, but I didn't, and that was the game.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
it's what it
So
was.
we learned some lessons game one, but how do we bounce
Exactly.
back? Tell me this
Yeah.
game two, Miles. Walk me through it.
All right. Game two, I played Isaac, and he had Night Haunt.
You're
He
just
had.
you poor bastard.
Night
Okay.
Hunt right out the gate, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
LRL. Okay. Okay.
He
Okay.
had Nagash and 40 Blade Geist and Reikenor and some
Okay.
nonsense.
Okay. But Nagash is like what, 1,000-ish points?
Yeah,
You gotta do
exactly.
something.
And Nagash was fine. I think he hand of dusted my Mega Boss on foot, which was good.
Yep.
Always fun.
Yep.
Always a fun thing watching that happen.
Yeah. It was good. Isaac was is a younger player.
Mhm.
He's told me he's been a lifelong Night Hunt player since Tuesday. Um,
Perfection.
I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
Um, and I think what so I ended up winning this game by a single point. So this was a
Okay.
minor win. And I think what it came down to was 3 middle objectives. It was shifting objectives.
Mm,
And I was able to get 10 points on my first 3 turns. And then at that point, I was getting tabled.
yes.
But I wasn't getting tabled. And then turn four was the pivotal moment where I scored a point and I kept him from scoring 8 points. He only scored six. And then he scored 10 on his last turn. And that was me winning by a point.
Okay.
Whoa,
You
wow.
know? Yeah.
That's a good tight game against a really strong army. So yeah, okay, I'm
Yeah. So
seeing the sauce here.
that was very, very good.
Nice. Ah,
Yeah, no, and geez, they just Night Hunt, man, they're freaking
Yeah.
good.
But you know, and
Yeah,
it's
they're a little nasty.
They are
yeah.
nasty.
And them ignoring your rend when you're an elite army, and you only have so many attacks but good damage.
Yeah,
That's a tough
yeah.
matchup, Miles. Good shit. Just
It is a
Yeah.
tough
gonna
matchup.
point out.
What was working well for me on them is the fact that yeah, they ignore my rend, which is a huge bummer. Most of the Iron Jaw stuff is just rend one across the
Okay.
board with some conditional rend twos. And what's
Uh,
nice is that I could ignore having to line up those conditional rend twos and just sort of focus on
okay.
stuff, right? Because whatever does go through is 2 or 3 damage a piece
Hmm.
like across the army.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
And punching stuff is the orc way. So
it
it
is
sounds
the
like
orc way,
this is working
exactly.
out
And,
good here.
and this was, I think, really the battle where I started realizing that I can hit endless spells for bonuses. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
because I can get smashing and bashing off of them. Both mega bosses, right? The one on foot and the one on the Maw Crusher get their extra attack every time they kill a endless spell. Right,
Mm.
so that's one extra attack for the
Yeah.
rest of the game,
Because
and
they
it
kill
hits
a
the unit that they've killed.
unit.
So that is a
Okay.
question that I think I lofted out in the RTT um,
In the TO
that I
space.
did
Oh. Hmm.
last weekend, and for the purposes of killing a model, or for the purposes of killing that model and getting bonuses, I don't think I was able to do it. I'm interested to see if they can tighten up those rules a little bit so there's not like
Yeah,
that kind of like odd area.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. These ones specifically trigger on killing a unit. A whole unit has to be destroyed, and I
Hmm.
think
Yep.
that's where I got because in the combat phase they count as a unit.
As a unit. Yep.
Yep. Yep. You're
Yeah, yeah.
fighting it.
So,
It's got
so I think
health.
that's where I got that on my side there. But it is gray area.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
But so that's the kind of thing where because command points, you have the 4 of them, but you run through them so quickly. And it's
Yes.
the kind of thing where cool, all right, so I've hit with my big thing and I've used my
Hmm.
all-out attack.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go hit this endless spell so that the next thing I hit will have +1 to hit.
Yep.
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 That makes sense.
Um,
And I haven't even had a command point I'd wanted to spend on power through because the rest of the turn has happened. And there's
There's
yeah,
so many other things.
I
plenty.
still have yet to use it. It seems really
Yeah.
interesting.
I
Especially
feel like
with
there. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no. I just meant especially with all the Iron Jaw stuff. I have a bunch of big things that could power through. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like playing. I played that all Therodon army, and I know I made a bunch of charges where I just completely either burnt a CP on something that I probably didn't need to in the long run,
Mm.
and having power through would have got me on the other side and really disrupted some of my opponent's plans.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? I feel
Yeah.
like that's going to be a hard one to master, at least knowing when to save the CP for it, because I think it's very much something to save a CP for, right?
Mm.
All out
Yeah, yeah.
attack, all out defense.
Cer
Um,
Certainly when you're in that moment where it's like, do I need to all out attack this? Well, I might as well because they're
mhm.
going away.
Mm.
Okay, actually, let's reconsider. Like, do I actually need to all out attack this? Because I could
Yeah.
actually spend this on something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, potentially.
No, no, I
Um,
hear you. I hear you. There's so much cool
uh,
stuff with that. All right, so
yeah.
game three here. We're
Game
1-1.
three.
We're feeling good here. Day one at a
Day
G2.
one, we got Scott, and Scott had Stormcast
Mhm.
Eternals.
Okay.
Interesting list. I think Scott seems like a newer player or maybe more casual player,
Hmm.
based on the fact that I had a loss and a minor victory, and I was playing him. So like, we were
Gotcha.
kind of at that level at the
Yeah.
time. But super nice guy. Really enjoyed playing him. Uh, he had 20 liberators
Mm.
and some sequiturs. I think largely because he had them.
Not gone yet.
Exactly. A bunch of foot heroes, and then 4 No, and then two dragons. No,
Okay.
four dragons.
Four dragons.
Four dragons.
My goodness.
And Bastion.
I love
Okay.
Bastion.
Yeah, yeah.
Strange.
He's had some changes to his war scroll, but I still think it has a place. But all
Yeah.
right,
No,
yeah.
so it was an interesting mix, and he was doing the trick where he's got the little banner guy who's like increasing
Healing.
the control score of
Oh
stuff
yeah,
to try
that's a
and
good one.
push forward. And this was, I want to say, scorched earth, right? So it was a lot of objectives.
Mm.
Um, and what's kind of interesting about my build is that we're incredibly anti-infantry, right? So Mega Boss,
Yeah.
all of his attacks are anti-infantry extra rend. The
Uh-huh.
brutes are anti-infantry extra rend. Um, right, which are my two big damage units. And so and then the cavalry, the Gore Gruntas, there I give them the anti-infantry extra rend on the charge from
Really? We're not doing
from
+1 to hit and wound, huh? Okay.
only because it depends on who's in the general's battalion.
Okay.
Right, if the general's battalion is like 1 foot hero and a single squad, like yeah, cool, whatever, I don't care.
Just take the
Um,
whole up. Yeah.
and the pigs want a cycle charge anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there's some experimentation there. I'm not saying that's like the be all and end all.
No,
But anyway,
sounds
so
good to
there's a
me.
lot of extra rend floating around for infantry.
Yeah. That
And
sounds
then so
great.
what I was thinking with because so he had Bastion with the three pregame moves,
Hmm.
right? And so he's pushing up all these big infantry blocks.
Was he a 3 drop?
He was a 3 drop,
Oh
and
boy.
I was
Oof.
like, I'm gonna go first.
You're doing it. You're going
Yep.
crazy. Okay.
And what I did was I was like, I'm gonna seize the center. And
Hmm.
knowing that he was pushing all of his infantry, he was just gonna mash all of his infantry into the center and make my life hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I
Gonna get
think
there first.
I think he
Huh?
used some sort of redeploy situation, or maybe there was a prayer in
It
my
was a
hero
teleport
phase
prayer.
to
Yep.
teleport a 10-man squad into the middle.
That just helped you get there.
Right. Well, that's just it. I was like, cool. I'm gonna drop this tactic, but I've killed 3 infantry units. You know what I mean? Like
Whoo!
I couldn't kill quite enough. Like I was still tied up with like 1 or 2 models from a couple
Yeah.
different squads.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna get the tactic, but all of his infantry presence died that first charged,
So,
right?
do you think
Well,
that's like a standard thing you'd want to be doing from here on out? Drop a
I don't. Well, it
tactic more and
depends.
more?
It was kind of a bait and trap situation. I was like, well,
oh.
either like he's got something already kind of there, so I'm gonna have to go fight it to take the center anyway.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, but I suspect that he is going to try and counterplay me, and I think I actually take these guys in a straight up fight. And
Yeah.
so I went for it, and I was like, yeah, I'm happy to drop this tactic, um,
Score you
in order
6 points and move
to
on. Huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if it would work twice, but it worked this time.
That's all that matters there.
Exactly. Um, and then yeah, there was some skirmishing around because he had a squad come back in with the CP. The dragons were coming down, and so there were still some fights to do. I had my squad of pigs uh, string across the entire board because they can still do that because there's only 6 of them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very
Um,
nice.
but yeah, and then yeah, we got to a point where he was like, you know what, you got this. Let's talk this out. I'm gonna go home and put my kids to bed. I was like, cool, dude, let's do that. Uh, that seems like a great play.
Yeah.
But it was a very good game. He was a very lovely person.
Mhm.
Um, so 2-1 for the first day, feeling
Hell
pretty
yeah.
good.
Hell yeah.
Coming into the second day, different shirt on. I'm looking through my Twitter feed. That's how I'm like remembering.
Different shirt. Okay. We check.
Yeah,
We're not that super, just a little stitious, not completely superstitious. You got to go by the
exactly.
same threads. All right. All right.
Um, Oh
Oh,
crap.
wait, Miles. I didn't ask. This has been a thing with me being on here too. What
Yep,
was your pre-tournament ritual?
indeed.
Oh man.
Jesus, what? I almost jinxed the whole thing. What did you do on your day one when you rocked up to that tournament, man? What are you doing?
For me, it is Nature's Valley Bar and a coffee.
Okay. Are we taking the coffee black, cream, sugar?
Um,
What are we doing here? A little
I've
Bailey's.
been, we're in Europe over here, so it's a
You
flat white.
are. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Flat light Americano. Okay.
yeah, but
That's so
yeah,
fancy.
no. So
Yeah.
fancy. But no, that's usually breakfast of champs there, and
Hmm.
you know, making sure you bring in extra water bottles. Julia practice. Yeah, I drove friend Gary up with
Nice.
to the thing, and so Julia packed us a nice little road tripping snack bag. So
Nice.
that was good. There's some good protein bars in there.
Rad.
You love to see it. All right. In day two, though, so what was the ritual then? Did you maintain the coffee and the granola bar? Or did you
The
up
coffee
the?
and the granola bar I actually went for this coffee place around the corner had some really
Okay.
nice breakfast options.
Wonderful.
But
But
so my staple Irish breakfast option is the sausage roll, which
okay.
is a
Okay.
sausage in a pastry.
Oh,
And
I'm familiar.
magnificent. This place did not have them, and I panic ordered some porridge with strawberries and jam,
Okay.
and that was really delightful. So I was very happy with that choice in
That
the
does
end.
sound delightful. That does sound
Uh,
delightful.
So I gotta ask here, as
Hmm.
a American,
mhm.
Marco.
isn't that
Mhm.
a pig in a blanket?
It's a
It's
big pig in a blanket.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
biggie
But
piggy in a
yes,
blankie.
it's a piggy in a blanket. It's exactly what that is.
Puff
That's exactly what.
pastry
I'm gonna
around
call
it.
it a biggie
Yeah.
piggy in a blankie.
There we go. I like a
All
biggie
right.
piggy in a
Biggie
blankie. I
piggy and
like
a blankie. Okay.
that.
Love it. Love it. All right, Miles. So
So
now what sorry, Matt, go ahead. Does that matter?
I
Who
said
is it?
nothing. I said
so
nothing.
Speak.
so going into the second day,
Yeah.
I'm playing Night Haunt a second time.
Oh
Um,
God, Miles.
and I'm kicking myself because unfortunately on Twitter I tagged this guy and so I don't
Uh-huh.
have his first name, but I'm pretty sure it was Alex.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Cool.
anyway,
Shout
and I want to
out.
say,
Probably Alex.
yeah, it's probably Alex.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not so sure about that anymore. But anyway, we're gonna go with Alex for right now, and he
Sure.
can write in the comments that I was wrong.
On
But
all our platforms, YouTube
I just want
and
to say
Podbean.
this guy had the best Star Wars button-down shirts all weekend.
Go on.
Star Wars button-down shirts.
If
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't
So
invested before, I'm invested now. All right,
so
Miles.
here I'm gonna I don't know if you guys can see that, but
I
it's like
see the
a
Vader in the okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Nice.
and he had another one that was like these sort of neon TIE fighter patterns. It was very good. Um,
Ooh.
anyway, um,
Okay.
yeah, so it's Night Haunt and it's on a six objective mission. Can't remember which one. Feral Foray. That sound right?
Sure.
Sure. Let's go with that. Um,
If not, I will have the fact checker get you when we can afford one. Uh,
Dun,
that's
dun.
that wasn't what you hired me for. I'm
exactly.
not even getting paid here. What am I talking about? Go on,
Neither are we.
Yeah. If you're
Matt.
trying to find this is on Stats and Ladders, so that's not even on BCP if you're trying to fact check me.
Oh no, no, not at all. I was looking at the list. I'm looking for my cards because I got my GHB card pack here. I got off of eBay for
Oh,
way
nice.
cheaper than buying anything. I just wanted to look at the thing. Hey, go on, go on.
Okay, so
Mhm.
Alex, we're going with that as his name. His
Totally,
list,
Alex.
it's definitely Alex. Um, he had Lady Olinder,
Hmm.
one big unit of Blade Guys,
Okay.
two Spirit Hosts, two Wizards, Knight of Shrouds on foot. It's a little bit of everything. Two units of Chain Rasps.
Really? Okay.
And yeah, so it was a little, it was just a little, it was a bunch of little bits and bobs. And
Uh,
Lord
yeah, Lord
Executioner.
Executioner. Yep. Did
Lord
he
Yeah,
have?
Executioner.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Did we have any of the hero that got turned back into a unit of Cav? The gosh,
Oh, the
not
Hex
the
Wraiths?
no, not the Hex Wraith. Give me 1 second. I will pull this up because my wife is a Nighthawk player and I should know this. She's also really good. She's kicked my butt with him so many times. Da, 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 da. Where are you? Dreadblade Harrows.
Oh no, Isaac had a squad of two of those, and those were
Mm,
nasty. Those were a
yeah,
huge pain in the ass.
their teleport's fantastic. But all right, all
And
right.
so many battle tactics off of them. He got right. It was
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
um but yeah, so it's Feral Foray. I think no, it's a weird L deployment on this one. So I might be
Yep.
wrong.
Oh,
Anyway,
is it the one with the two empty areas?
yeah. So
Oh, I played that
it's a
as
Already
quick
well.
and
did
easy.
shift.
It's one of the there's like 3 or 4 missions where it's a quick and easy
Yeah.
surround and destroy, whatever we call that now.
Yeah.
Shifting
Take the flanks.
objectives
Yeah, take the
or
flanks. Not shifting. He did shifting already.
what's it
Are we
called?
Jaws of Gallet?
It might have been Jaws of Gallet.
Or Battle for the Pass?
Yeah, Battle for the Past
I
could be
think it
an
was Jaws
option.
of Gallet.
Could be close to the chest as well.
Hmm.
That's it. It's close to the
We had
chest.
6
All right.
objectives, the L
We got
deployments.
through them. We
Yeah, we
found
got
them.
through 'em. And
I'm here for
this
you.
one
I'm
is
here for
actually
you.
a huge bitch to get all 10 points in any battle round, right?
Mm.
Because 2 of those points is you have to own the objective that your opponent picked as their tower or as their primary objective.
Yes, it is
Hmm.
close to the chest. That is exactly what
Yeah.
you played.
So that is an absolute bitch. So we were low scoring the entire time, right? Like we were getting 6 point turns, 8 point turns, very rarely 10 point
Mhm.
turns. Um,
Interesting underdog mechanic where you roll a dice on a 5 up. It forces your opponent to pick a different objective, but it's also a 5 up. So it's like, yeah.
I mean, you might as well roll it, but yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
really interesting. His main battle plan seemed to be buff the absolute hell out of the one unit of Blade Guys,
Hmm.
send them in to kill whatever it is,
That
right?
yeah, solid.
Um,
Makes sense.
turn one, we both do our take the flanks objectives,
Yeah.
whatever. Going into turn two, he's like, I'm gonna go kill those pigs because they're in your general's regiment,
Mhm.
right? So he's sending it all in, and I'm like, cool, I will 3 inch move back, and then I will redeploy back, you
Yeah.
know. And I also just realized that so he was able to get the blade guys in, but he wasn't able to get all the support heroes in that give all those extra buffs.
Yeah.
So they
Okay.
weren't plus one
Okay.
to wound, they weren't plus one attacks. And without some of those, like even though he had some good buffs on them,
Mhm.
um, even still, like, I have a all out defense on them, so they're on a 2 up save, and it's 30 wounds. Have fun with that.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
luck, right?
Units aren't doing more than 20-ish damage anymore
Yeah,
in this edition. It's just so hard with things being based around a 4s and 4s profile. Either, it could be 4 and 2 for the orcs or
yeah,
four
yeah.
or 3s and 4s for elves or whatever, but that
Let
is a
me let me
gargantuan task.
let me open this side door to this room
Oh,
where I
please.
have where I have a reinforced unit of Therodons led by a Myrmidon that adds +1 to hit, letting them hit on 3s and 2s.
Nice.
-2 rend against infantry
Okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
2 damage.
That's
Once per
nice.
game, I can turn that to 3 damage.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
Let me just
Okay.
tell you about the amount of damage I can throw out in a game.
Nice.
That's nice.
I
No, and
know.
the brutes are the same way, right? You can give them a
Mhm.
+1 to hit, or the Maw Russia is all 4s and 2s, so
Yeah.
suddenly they're 3s and 2s. It's very nice.
All
Yeah.
right.
Um, so I was able to kill the Blade Geist, and then he, in his turn, um, didn't save a CP.
Ooh.
Dude, that is by far the most interesting kind of internal game that you're
Yeah,
playing in Age of Sigmar now is
It
balancing
is.
out, do I need to have CP for the following turn if I go first?
yeah,
Or can I get everything that I need done now and buff the things that I need buffed in order
Yep.
to last the following turn.
Yep.
So much gambling.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So he had this sort of so I kill off the blade guy. So he has that bunker of heroes that were originally going to charge in
Hmm.
with a spirit torment, with some chain rasp, and I was like, I don't really want to deal with that.
I don't
I'm
Hmm.
going to
want
take the double. And I think taking the double was a good choice here because I got to keep him in his territory for
Yes.
4 turns as a
Yeah,
result,
and that's
right?
Oh
huge.
God, that's great. It
Um,
it's one of those things too where, like you said, you're not scoring battle tactics anyway because of how the map is, because of
mhm.
how hard the objectives are. So screw the 4 points, secure
Well,
your six, and make sure he can't score.
exactly.
Hmm.
Well, I think this was a really tricky one though because being those
Mm.
4 points down, and because
Mhm.
neither of us are able to really score a 10-point turn, the
Yeah.
scoring became insanely tight,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Yeah, I like
Um,
that.
And then it came down to turn 5. I got the prio. I was gonna be. I'm starting to lose it here, right? I'm losing the attrition battle.
Hmm.
Um, the executioner guy comes in. He's killing brutes. That's not great. The shackles on a hot 5 up kill the Maw Crusher because it has
Yeah.
3 wounds left, and that loses me that objective that it was holding because it's 15 counts as 15. But
Oh.
that was a huge
Oh,
loss there, and then so it's very tight, and then I get and so here's the crazy play on turn 5
Hmm.
is Mighty Destroyers a unit of so the Brute Ragers have been chilling in a corner the entire game.
Yep.
They've scored me 2 battle tactics already with take the corners and get on the terrain, right?
hmm.
Yep.
And so I have 2 brutes that are fighting Lady Oleander and one other little wizard guy. And
Jeez.
so it is the destruction battle tactic of you see that guy who's already fighting, I'm going to hit him with this thing and he's going to die.
Yeah.
And
So the brutes move the ragers they move the 3 inches in the hero phase. They get they auto run 6. They get a minimum charge of 3. They're in with a chance. They're always strikes first. Whiff.
yep,
No.
yep,
Lady O goes. She kills another brute. One
Hmm.
brute left. Ices this wizard.
really
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Right,
nice.
because it's a brute with a big sword, right? So
Mm.
3 attacks, 4s and 3s, -2, 3 damage apiece.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll do it. All they have to do is
Yeah,
fail a couple saves.
Yep.
exactly.
It's just a 4 up.
Exactly. So ice is that wizard.
That's
I
Hmm.
get the battle
nuts.
tactic. I have 1, 2, but not more. That's a nice 6 point turn. But unfortunately, he scores 10 in his last turn because there's nowhere for me to hide that tower or that
Yep.
prime. And he wins by 2.
Oh,
Dang.
that sounds like a nice close game.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Very,
so
very fun swingy.
absolutely, very well played. Very fun game.
Cool.
So 2-2 into the last round.
Hmm.
Um, and play a guy who I know from the local shop. His name's Gavin. I don't know him that well,
Nice.
but he comes to all the local events.
Okay.
Really good guy, devoted to death armies for the most part.
I'm
I should say
noticing a
that he
theme.
also has a thing
Yeah.
for goblins, but
Oh,
just goblins. Like
okay.
he's not playing the meta squig. He's like, no, no.
Not
I
trolls,
brought
not squig.
240 goblins. You can fuck right off.
So I guess the real juice for him would be to make a spooky goblin list where
Yeah,
they're all
undead goblins
gobbledy
walking around.
ghosts. Gobbledy
Goblin
Undead
ghosts.
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 Oh, I love it.
So,
Do it. What did he
Gavin was
play?
playing. He was playing Soul Blight,
Oh,
Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon,
okay.
60 Graveguard,
Hmm.
10
Ooh.
Skeletons, Necromancer, and a White Lord.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a
I
lot.
Matt and I are in the same boat here. Like,
yeah.
you
Like
already
what do
said
you
how the story ends, but I don't know how you climb this mountain, Miles. You got to tell me.
yeah. What do you do there, buddy?
And it's Jaws of Gallet, right? So it's
Okay.
it's where the underdog gets to remove objectives,
Yep.
right? So
Mhm.
he takes the first turn because I underdrop him. He pushes into the middle of the board, doesn't really get any charges off. That's fine with me. Scores 10 points. Good job. Um, I
Good
push
job.
in. Um, the brutes go and ice 20 Graveguard
Oh,
because brutes just do that, turns out.
anti-infantry with the extra rend, and their saves
Because
is
right,
a
because
5 up, right?
everything in my army is anti-infantry. So I'm like, oh, cool, four up armored infantry. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gimme,
Um,
gimme, gimme now.
exactly. Now I don't want to take a hit from them because that's really bad. But as long as I go first, like, yeah, cool, all day.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
the Ragers are off in the corner duking it out with like, oh, he has 2 units of 5 Black Knights to
Okay.
do
Oh,
objective
there you
stuff,
go.
and
Sure.
cool. So
Solid
we're
list.
taking the corners, but I didn't manage to get on the. I didn't want to get close enough to the one objective with my Maw Crusher that had a bunch of Graveguard on it to take
Hmm.
it from him. So I end up getting 8 points, and that is actually pivotal because now I'm the underdog, and now I'm pulling
Yeah.
objectives. And
There
what's
you go.
wild about that is you determine the underdog at the beginning of the round, and then you remove the objective after you've scored in your turn. Right. So I know so if
What?
I'm going second, I know the entire round that I'm going to get to remove an objective no matter what.
Interesting. That is
They
a
changed
mission
the
that
hell
I
out
have
of that.
not fought yet on. So
Um,
that means you've really got
Yeah.
the way to just kind of like steal whatever like hope he has if you're coming back strong, right?
exactly.
Hmm.
So we have some combats. We both score the same on round two, which means I'm still the underdog. So going into round three, um,
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I'm able to keep the priority, and I've pulled 2 objectives.
So you're playing a
Right.
game of attrition essentially and just winning by objective loss.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm just keeping them all. My L is still there, and his home objective and the middle objective are gone. And I'm playing the
Right.
flank battles
Okay.
because I'm faster than he is.
Yeah.
That is a
Um,
wacky, wacky way to play. I love it.
this was the game where I realized that a redeploy is a run move,
Hmm.
It is.
right? And
If you have run
mod
and
runners
charge.
who have that interesting momentum mechanic,
Hmm.
where if they charge, they get 1 momentum point, and if they run, they get 2 momentum points. I'm waiting for Rocco to put it together
No,
there
no,
and
I did. I'm
getting
like, oh
it.
no. It took
So
till hey, we got there after 5 games. We're learning our army on the fly. All right. No judgment.
exactly.
No judgment. No judgment.
So a tactical redeploy gets
Hmm.
my dude. So he probably already has 1 momentum point,
Yep.
right? A tactical
Yep.
Hmm.
redeploy gets him up to his max 3 momentum points. Cool. Go ahead and charge me. My tusks are 5 damage now.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting aha moment I had in this game.
That's some little
Uh-huh.
micro corn play right there.
Right? It's
It's like
very
you're
cool.
playing
Yeah.
corn.
um And then yeah, so it came down to uh both the brutes and the maw crusher can lift 20 Graveguard in one go,
Mm.
right? And so we're hitting on either side there. We're taking some casualties from the pigs. We're taking a few casualties on the ragers, but largely
Yeah.
the brutes of this are fine. I end up charging the middle just to wipe the last unit of Graveguard.
Hmm.
Um, just because then they come back 10 strong, that's much easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Yep.
But his zombie lords his zombie dragons in the middle, I'm kind of losing the attrition there, but I tie it up, right?
Okay.
If all that stuff is focused on this fight in the middle, it's not where all the objectives are.
Yeah. And he'll never
Um,
score another primary point again.
exactly. And that was the game right there. So I was able
That's
to
Yeah.
just sort of keep him fighting in the middle, and score these 3 objectives that I had already owned.
that's very
Sweet.
Um,
Yeah.
Well played by Gavin. He tends to be more of a narrative player guy. He likes to play what he wants to play, and if it
Sure.
happens to be good, he'll wipe you. I'll wipe the floors with you. But if it doesn't happen to be good, well, then he's still going to play it. So,
I
Yeah.
feel
Good.
that. I feel
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
absolutely. But
Very respectable.
really good weekend. Great way to kick off the edition. Had an
Oh
awesome time.
yeah.
Still got it.
Yeah, you do.
Any anything walking away from that tournament that you kind of had like an eye-opening moment on? Any kind of like
I thought going in that I was going to be absolutely boned not having a real wizard. And I
Yeah.
gotta say, I just punched every endless spell that came my way, and it was fine.
There you go.
I was like, oh, 3 inches of free movement. Love this. Thank you.
yep.
Yeah. Honestly, I long ago for like third edition, and I think in second too, I did a thing about like how movement win games and just get that however you can, especially
Hmm.
like your movement four on your footworks. All of a sudden, if they've got endless spell you can charge, that's free movement for the charge, and then the
Yeah,
pile in, always take your pile ins. And
Yep.
with combat ranges being 3 inches now too, it's just even stronger to just even tag in and move up and beat the snot out of something.
absolutely. No,
Yeah.
and that brick of 10 brutes is like, yeah, they killed everything they came into contact with.
Yeah.
Yeah, reinforced like elitish units are like no joke now, right? Like
They're all getting
um
in.
yeah, and they last a lot longer than I expect in every game that I've played where it's been at
Yes.
least like a 3 and up or 4 and up save, and you have at least 3 to 5 wounds.
Hmm.
Um they're sticking around longer. I know the
And
damage
mhm.
output is a little bit lower in the game, but there are a couple outliers there, I think. But
Well, if I could,
yeah.
um, something that I've noticed in my practice games of fourth and even playing Spearhead, units that I would have finished off with Battle Shock are, they're still there now. That's the, it's
Yeah,
the, you killed 10 models or you killed 15 models or whatever, and it's like a unit of 30. Their bravery used to be like 5 or 4. The rest would just flee. And you're like, yeah, cool. We did it. It's over. It now, it's just, especially if you have a way to regenerate models, like
hmm,
say like a Zangor Shaman getting Foot Zangor back. It's at the end of the turn. They can do a thing. They do D3 mortal wounds and bring that many models back to a unit. You just have
nice.
this never-ending grind match
Yeah.
of cool. Here's my elite infantry, like you're saying. You killed 4 of them. Great. They used to be bravery 6. I would have had to spend a CP here. Or, 3 or 4 would have fled. But
Right.
now we have a prolonged fight, and it's so interesting how that dynamics changed in the new edition, and I like
Hmm.
it.
It
Absolutely.
it changes the way that you approach multi-combat as
Mhm.
well. Like that was something I was learning actually in my last game that I need to start being more aware of, especially when I'm not playing an Oops All Veridon list and my units
Mhm.
can actually die. Um, the it used to be if you were forcing a multi-charge on a bunch of different units,
Mhm.
then what you were doing was making somebody make a bad decision with one command point
Yeah.
for the
Sure.
majority of armies, and then it was really a game of okay, I know that you're going to make these guys stay here because they have the objective, but because you need to hold that objective, I'm going to go ahead and tear apart your hammer unit, your glass hammer unit, or
Mhm.
something, and then you're probably going to lose one or two, and that will be enough for me to wear you down over the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like those kind of things where you're not tearing somebody's heart out, but you're really getting a good scratch in, and that kind of
Yeah.
defines the momentum. That kind of
Mhm.
stuff doesn't really work anymore, um, which is made it a lot more interesting in the fact that like now when I'm committing into combats, I either need to know that I can survive the punchback,
Hmm.
or
Mhm.
I'm over committing into each combat even more so than I was before, which
Mhm.
is very interesting because my style of play is not, Wrecking Ball or Death Star, which I think are much harder to do now.
Yeah.
Um, but you do need to like plan and plan and plan ahead because you're going to get redeployed on. You're going to get countercharged. How
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
going to
Yeah.
set up a multi-charge if you get countercharged? You know,
Yeah.
it's 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 so fun. My all of my games so far have been just amazingly
Mm.
tactical.
Good.
You know,
And back to Miles. So what else? Sorry. No, no, no. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't
get
mean
Shut
it.
out
up,
of
Matt. Shut up. Rocco's in the
here!
chair now.
And I'm
We
fired.
promoted
Get
him, and
out
this
of
is what we
Rocco
get.
Bye,
takes over the
everybody. Nice
job,
being
Matt.
here.
Matt's out, Rocco's in.
What was your question, Rocco?
So what other takes have you gotten from this? You know, you can survive without a wizard. You don't need endless spells. As long as you can kill them. Your heavy infantry's doing the work. You've got speed with Iron Jaws still with your mega boss and the pigs going around. Like,
Yeah.
what was there a hole in the list? Because it
I
sounds
do
like
think there are some things I would want to tweak. Like I have a reinforced pig unit and a reinforced ragers unit, and I think one of them needs to split into two units.
okay.
Because so like the ragers, I was actually pretty disappointed with them in terms of their output. They're really kind of become an anti-monster unit. Um,
Oh,
because they're +1 rend against monsters.
yeah. I haven't seen
Um,
this scroll yet. So okay, that's good to know. Good to know.
what is cool about them? They're run in charge and they're always strikes first in the charge.
Mm,
So that's fun.
yeah.
But they're 3 attacks each, fours and twos, -1, 2 damage.
Okay.
Very whiffable. I'm definitely not spending a CP on that. Like I'm
Nah.
sure I've got a better combat somewhere else to spend all out attack on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and they're a 5-up save, so I mean you have to go with them first, right? So I'm definitely not spending
Mm,
it there. I can't get smashed and bashed from something else, right? So it
yep.
is just fours and twos. However, because they can run in charge, you just run them all the time, right? And
Hmm.
so they're getting the utility of being my unit in the corner that's part of my take the flanks.
Hmm.
They're the unit that's getting the grab their terrain.
Yeah.
Um, like I think they single-handedly scored the most battle tactics,
Okay.
right? And
And
I just need to find a way to spend fewer points on them.
Yeah, I was going to
Yep.
say that's the question, right? Is that the most points efficient way to do it?
Yeah.
mm,
So
Um,
maybe it's I take the Rekkas, which have a built-in ward save, and I just take 2 units of 3, right? And I just, I'm like, yeah,
okay.
it's fine. The big like the potential for big damage and the always strikes first. I don't really need it. I'll take the ward save, keep them alive a little bit longer, take two
Yeah.
units of 3, and they're off doing my objective stuff.
Okay.
And
Because
then the big
wow,
pig unit can be a screen. It can be more centrally located versus having to go hard flank turn one and then come back.
interesting. Okay. So
Um,
are you worried about someone shooting in your turn and like killing off a unit that was trying to take the flanks or trying to seize the center? Like it's just
Maybe, yeah, yeah. I mean the even the Lumineth shooting, which was pretty bullshit, right?
yeah.
Because
yeah,
it
Auto
was
wound is great.
it was threes and twos with auto wounds in their turn, and twos and twos with auto wounds, and oh
I'm
no,
thinking, oh,
twos and
because of the
twos in their
generals.
turn, threes
Yeah.
and twos in my turn, for reasons. But it's still low rend,
raisins.
or maybe it's no rend. I don't remember. It might be rend one.
I can look it up.
Probably
Um,
red one.
Sounds
but
like random
like,
one.
that's not enough to kill pigs.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
All right.
but yeah, you could kill 3 men, 9 wounds worth of ragers probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely kill some orc no pork for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
That word save
although
sounds like a good
the
change
other thing
thing.
too, though, is that we forget is that in your turn when they're shooting in your turn, they have to shoot the nearest enemy unit,
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I
right? So
forgot about that a couple of
you can
times.
just play around that pretty easily, I think.
Okay.
Um, and because I do feel like most missions are either take the flanks or seize the center.
Yeah. Those are two you're always trying to score. And then if you could fit in another one somewhere, you're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And it'd be really nice if I can throw something I don't really care what happens to them after they've done that. Like if I
Yeah.
can throw two units up there, if one of them survives, amazing. Let's keep
Hmm.
going. The other one, and I think Mike is going to probably touch on this, is whether you want the foot mega boss or not. I really liked the consistency of the two up for +1 attack. On a brutes unit, it was nice that it comboed with the ragers because
Yeah.
occasionally I'd find myself in a position where the brutes had gone off and done something, or maybe I'd have to trade them for something. And the mega boss would be able to now combo with the ragers who were sticking around.
Okay.
Um, that's cool. The War Chanta is a better buff, the +1 damage, but it's on a 4 up.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah. It's a
priest. He's a little
prayer or
bit.
something.
He doesn't have the damage output. He doesn't have the armor save. Um,
Yeah.
there's a spell from the Weird Knob that's on a 6, which
Hmm.
is crits do 2 hits, which is a pretty comparable spell, and he's much cheaper, right? Like both of those models are half the price of a
Hmm.
Mega Boss on foot,
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll
right?
die so much quicker.
But it will, exactly. Yeah. So exactly. So I think there's some deep thinking to do on what the correct buff unit is there. I
Okay.
don't think it's Zogrod, unfortunately. Um, the crits, I did the math out. It against really high you need like 2 up armor you need to go into 2 up armor for it to really shine.
Hmm.
And you just don't see as much of that.
I
No,
mean,
which nice.
Stormcast all day, every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on one unit.
On one unit, but that one unit gonna die.
Hey, he's
Yeah.
got neg two to Ren to take out infantry, so we're getting there. We're getting
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But so what
Yeah.
was what who was your best scoring unit? Like who carried your army in this?
Oh, it
What?
was the brutes. Brutes all
Okay.
day. Wipe stuff. Like I said, they killed 20 blade guys.
Hmm.
Not in one swing. That took him 2 swings, but
That's still
still,
impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
right, because it's with the +1 attack, it's 4 attacks each
Hmm.
for all of these brutes. The ones with the main brute weapons are 7 of them, and it's with one 5 attacks for the boss.
Yep.
Uh, four is threes, so threes and threes,
Yep.
-2, 2 damage, and then the big swords are 4 attacks, fours and threes, so three and threes, -2, 3 damage. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, they killed
that's
literally
heavy.
everything that they touched.
Nice.
Um, I killed 2 endless spells in one turn with them. It was nice.
I
That
do it.
feels good nowadays, especially when you run into a grave tide, especially after being charged by one. The
Mm.
first time, if you've already been charged by one, then catching one off guard and killing it is like a sweet joy now.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they hit whatever. They charge you with 2 of them. It's like cool. Only one of them can fight first.
yep,
Hit me, and I will kill both of you.
that's right. We're coming
Too
for you.
much. Yeah. No, I'm
Um,
I'm finding that endless spells do die quick, which is nice.
Yeah.
Quick enough. And there are also times where, like, I do have units doing nothing that, like, cool, you can do like 4 wounds to an endless spell and just finish it off, and we're okay.
yeah,
Yep. Or or you just can't hit the broadside of a barn on 4 and ups.
Yeah, that'll happen.
that is the trick. Um, Maw Crusher did well. He needs to go into infantry targets, which is like
Hmm.
for him to really like, because he's not tanky enough to weather along, like the healing is just not there in the game anymore. So like he
Yeah.
needs to hit stuff and have it be gone. And for him to do that, he needs to be into, a preferably like a 4 up save infantry
Hmm.
target. He'll have to take
Okay.
Which
those all day.
thankfully those are pretty prevalent now, right? It's like
Exactly.
fours
Oh
and
yeah.
fives are generally, well, fours are generally what it is, with elves being five.
So
So,
Hmm.
he does 2 up D3 impact mortals, but it's double if it's infantry, right? So that's either no mortals, 4 mortals, or 6 mortals.
Yep.
Yeah.
which is fun. And then all of his stuff
Nice.
is conditional anti-rend infantry, even the Maw Crusher itself. So it's all of a sudden threes and twos, 2 damage or two minus 2 rend, 2 damage or 3 damage
Okay.
with 16 attacks between the two of them.
Yeah,
He's
do
a
it.
big boy. Yeah,
Very
exactly.
tac Still very
Yeah.
tactical, it sounds like, though. The
Yeah,
decisions that you have to make in game about what you're
Mm,
charging and what's going to happen afterwards sound like a huge part of Iron Jaws now,
absolutely.
yeah.
instead of just smack.
Smack.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Remind me to bring some anti-monster for my infantry horde armies.
Yeah.
This talk has been
I
enlightening. Can't wait for the always
absolutely. I've
strike
been really
late.
enjoying the sort
Yeah.
of built-in little micro rock paper scissors about that. Where like
Yeah,
the gore gruntas are anti-cavalry,
this is
right?
great.
Which
Yeah,
is
it's
super fun.
it's very much one of the things that I was so happy to see come over from the 40K style of play,
Hmm.
where they had anti-vehicle, anti-infantry, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that it allows you to create the rules in a way that you can leverage units in roles instead of just powering up, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels like third edition, especially later part of third edition, was all just like, okay, how can I turn, um, you know, how can I take a baby Goku unit and
Hmm.
give him ultra instinct immediately and
Yeah.
then just send him in and kill everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
How do I
Um,
super buff these chosen, these Vanguard, these
yeah.
take your pick.
And
Right.
now
Well, and
they're
because
all kind of standing on their own now though, right? So
yeah.
like Vanguard are still really good, but you're not
Yeah.
like, here's an instant Death Star unit and
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just really like that all those buffs are like a lot of those buffs are conditional, right? Especially the built-in
mhm.
ones because it takes those units, right? Like something like a big chosen bomb or something like that. That's a
Hmm.
harp on Slaves of Darkness too much, but you guys have Death Stars. That's part of your shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but like you get like a big chosen bomb, and like that chosen bomb is good at fighting everything, in the last
Yes.
edition. Whereas now, if they have the conditional rend or they have a conditional bonus that's based on the thing that they're fighting,
Hmm.
now they can still be that ultra, chosen bomb, but only when they're fighting the thing that they want to fight, and that there is something in the game that they just aren't good at fighting.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like that balances list choice out more too, right? Like
Hmm.
it means that you have to have more variety, like a
Yes.
almost a take all comers list
Love
oriented.
that.
There
Love
was
that.
because like previously, and I mean there's always going to be a few offenders, but like previously there was, oh, what was it? And this reminds me of I was listening to a completely unrelated like essay about something else, from this guy, JD Signifier, and he was talking
Wow.
about, um, he wasn't talking about video games, but the term came up and it like rung a bell with me about the difference between fourth and third. And he was talking about video games where there's that one character that is unbalanced and you know that one move and you automatically win if you just keep playing that move,
Yep.
right?
Just spam it. Okay.
And like he was talking about the respect that you get from doing that is only that you are brave enough, or not brave enough, but that you're willing to do it. You're willing to
Yeah.
be that guy, right?
Sure, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what like the list building experience eventually came to feel like about two or three times during third edition, where it's just like, okay, I'm gonna be that guy and I'm gonna do
yeah,
this and I'm gonna add it with this and I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna hate it. But I'm gonna be that guy and they'll have to respect me because I won because of this, right? And
yeah.
Stormcast Dragons when they
not
first
like,
dropped. That
yeah.
was
And
like, yeah,
it's
cool, you won. We knew.
But it's like it's not like it's a player prerogative, right? It's literally
No.
how the game almost like lended itself to being built,
Sure.
when you were doing list building. Now it's like, well, you know that perfect combo that you had is only going to work against that one thing, right?
Hmm.
Like you were just saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most positive change in the system in general for me.
Yeah. and it'll make reacting to new army books very interesting too, right? Because like, you know, Soulblight will get a new book at some point, presumably,
Hmm.
unless they get squatted or something, which would be hilarious, but probably won't happen.
Yeah,
They
no.
go back to Legions of Nagash.
Right?
That would
But
be funny.
only because it would be like so out of left field. Not I'm not like hating on Soulblight players. But right, like so okay, now Blood Knights are now a huge problem. Okay, now everyone is now teching anti-cavalry, which
Hmm.
means infantry armies all of a sudden are doing way better.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Huh.
And like General's Handbook will allow you to at least have some leeway at the beginning of the game to get
Mhm.
anti-cab on something. There's like a lot.
Uh,
It's so much more tactical. I love it. I
it
love it.
is. It is. All
It's a
right.
player's game again, not a list building game. Aha.
Hey.
I love that stuff. Um, but yeah, so you think that Iron Jaws are going to be kind of your go-to for a little while, or are you gonna go
Actually,
back to Cruel Boys?
I'm back to painting Cruel Boys. I'm excited. It was
Cool
a
boys are
challenge to
pretty good.
myself because
What?
last edition playing Big Wah, I always felt like Big Wah was just Iron Jaws and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
the way I played it, I know there were people who played it that where it was Cruel Boys and Friends, and no one played it where it was Bone Splitters and Friends.
I've
No.
Um,
played Orc on Pork.
yeah, but you played Bone Splitters,
That's
right?
different,
Yes.
Matt. It's okay.
Yeah,
You're special and beautiful as you are. But
I
right.
listen,
am. And now they're
love
really
you.
good.
I
They are.
know. And then yeah, and then they're gonna die here.
I know.
I know.
Um,
I can't look at my
but
Stormcast. They're legal to play, but I'm like, ah,
It the cut is too deep.
yeah.
yes.
Well, Rocco, what are you gonna play?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. It's
I
almost.
see in this Discord, which our lovely new patrons can get into,
Mhm.
Um,
um, that you've got some Zinch
I do
painting
have
going
some
on.
Zinchi Zinch. So I have coming up for me because I wanted more of a soft launch into fourth because
okay.
doing all the different my own YouTube channel here and guesting on different things. I wanted to make sure I actually had time to learn it myself and play and practice and hold myself to a standard. And I'm like, all right, I
Yeah.
want to take like a month or so to get some shit done. There's this cool narrative event as part of the Nova Open, which
Cool.
is Northern Virginia Open that's actually held in DC now at a hotel that's like a mile down the road from me. It's great. Uh,
Nice.
and the thing is, it is a map campaign in a they made their own continent years ago in Gur, and then it is like 20 different tables that correspond to the map that you fight over. It's got different buffs, and there's a whole story. It's great.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep, and they're a lot of fun, and it always ends in a huge siege battle. And last year, I took my Deepkin. I took a mixed arm, combined arm army. I'm like, oh, I'll see what I do. I won all five of my games, and my final thing was holding the wall against a corn player who had access to like five or six bloodthirsters. And it was a big like 15 on 15 player game. Like, oh, they'll just get blood tithe points. You're the only one who can probably deal with them.
Mm.
Good luck, Rocco. And it was also a game where you scored by kill points, and if you killed people in their deployment zones, you got extra points. If they breach, it's like they breach the city, you push them back.
Okay.
And I held the dude at the wall. He never got a single model in, and eventually I was spawn camping bloodthirsters, which was awesome. Killed 13 of them, set a record. And I wanted to bring something different that wasn't so traumatizing to people.
That sounds about right.
You dropped a competitive player into a narrative event. I'm like, okay, we're taking a step back.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Deepkin's really that good right now, but just the threat of it. They actually had to rewrite the narrative mechanics for what I did to their game as the only Deepkin player. They weren't even expecting anyone to bring it that time. So I'm
Nice.
like, okay, guys, we're gonna chill. We're gonna chill. So
I think Deep can have it. I think they're great.
It looks scary. Scary as
Yeah.
hell.
yeah, I just don't know if I like my turtle at 500 points.
Sure.
That is
But
a
you take
spendy model.
20 archers and you deep strike them
Do
in,
have 20
and then
archers.
you shoot with them, and then you deep strike them out.
And I
Yeah,
have
he
the
did break them
hero
in.
that deep strikes them not even near the board edge from within the hero that came in on the board edge. Like we got the tech, but again,
Yeah.
you see we're already going down a slippery slope here, Miles.
Yeah, I
This
got
is
you.
You
all
see,
right.
but
So,
you have to keep it narrative though, right? So what you do is after you
uh-huh.
deep strike them and shoot and everybody's dead, you
Yes.
then get like a little personal fan and like some wheat and just go,
Uh-huh.
this is the sound of your dead corpses in the field.
Oh
Nice.
no.
And
Little wind chime effect.
then it's narrative, right? Then you've
Yeah.
made it narrative.
Well, last year's narrative was Nurgle had infected the area, so it was like a chaos versus order thing. And my Deepkin were there because if all the Order cities died, we didn't have souls to raid when no one was looking.
Mm,
So my Deepkin were going on deep raiding missions behind enemy lines to disrupt supplies. And my first battle was actually at their literal beachhead, which I took. So then it
nice.
screwed up all the other armies and all their other like there actually were like supply lines and shit in this.
Nice.
Uh, which then they just sent me to wherever the hotspot was to try to calm it down. And we ended up in that final battle. We lost like I think it was like 150 to 149.
Oh wow.
But because I was spawn camping bloodthirsters for bonus points and killing monsters, I scored a third of my team's points. And then somewhat one guy on my team scored one more point than me. And then another that he was playing Flesh Eater Courts. He had a Gold King on Terrorgeist just go bananas, um, bouncing around the table. Um,
Nice.
it just like turned when it jumped our wall and said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here." It just kept beating the snot out of things, ping ponging around.
As
And
one
then the
does.
rest, my team got a little wrecked. But there was also a Gargan player who did good into Nurgle. Again, overall, very fun time, good experience. But we're looking to take something a little different here. So my two options that I've narrowed down to are my Cities of Sigmar and Zinch, which yes, as we've seen in the Discord, Patreon members can see it.
Hmm.
A buddy of mine who's a friend of my YouTube channel, I'm getting him to like this. Don't worry, his name's Dave.
Nice.
Uh,
Hi,
I
Dave.
just want to say, can I interject?
Please,
Also, guest stars on the show can see it.
yeah,
Yes.
you can see it, Mason. But yeah, so I was Dave's dungeon master for a D&D campaign for 2 years, and as a gift to me, he had a bunch of zine stuff that he wasn't using anymore, hadn't touched it in years. He's like, hey man, do you want it? As like a thank you. I'm like, oh my god, yes, please. So I had the stupid joke of Dave's hot chicken, where I had to go and paint them like hot cheese, bright orange for all the
Nice.
Zangor and all the chicken bits.
Nice.
And it's been the meme that keeps on giving in a group chat that I have with him and my gaming club there. And the Pants Mafia. They're primarily in the Midwest, but I'm just all around the country with where I am from being online so much. So
Hmm.
it's been great with that. Um, and it's I've got a Kairos, I've got the spawn that I'm dropping in on people. I've got so many Zangors. It's nutty. Again, the trick that having the Zangor shaman refill the unit of Zangor over and over so they just don't die is that was a practice game against Dave where we learned how that worked and it worked well.
Yeah, doing that
Uh,
in combat is really good.
oh my god. Um, and then we have Cities of Sigmar, where I have a lot of the humans because during the revamp, I was originally known online as being one of the Living City players that first did the fulminators into people. It was nasty.
Yep.
The shoot and then move in from the deep strike off the top rope coming in. I did a video with AoS coach, and
Hmm.
then Gavin Geiger ruined it by winning LVO and then getting the army nerf.
I,
Not
As
I
one
that.
gotta
does.
say, and I've said this a couple times. If you do something that gets something nerfed,
Yep.
that's the biggest. Like that is the
Oh, the
ultimate
hugest
prize,
compliment. I
Yeah.
right? Like
again.
there is no more winning in this whole
Yep.
hobby than getting something nerfed because of something you did. That's the ultimate prize.
Yep. And then he did that, and then I also know the guy that did the 200 zombie spam, and that got that nerf for Soulbright Glaive Lord. So
Yep. That would
It's
do it.
crazy out here. So I'm like, all right, where do I get some of this for me? So I'm looking at my cities now, and I'm like, I wanted to, we lost at the time in third the having Stormcast as coalition stuff. So my fulminators kind
Mhm.
of, and then I'm like, oh, I'll revamp all my humans because they're all the old Empire models. I retired them to the old world and have played them very well there. Um, and building the knights, and I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, there's so many options that I went so human centric the other way that I'm like, crap, I need to go and get like hammers. I need to go and get the cannon in for some more range. I stocked up on full. I got 20 fulminators that they have shooting combat. So
Yep.
it's one of the
Nice.
few good shooting units that have that. And it's just volume of fire. And then I'm thinking to myself, ooh, do I go magic heavy in Zinch? Do I go prayer heavy in cities? They've got some really nice stuff.
Yep.
And that's my crossroads here is what do I do? Do I try something new to me? Because I'm not a chaos player normally. I am an order player. I am all about Sigmar, except when my deep can need to steal some souls when no one's looking. We don't talk about that.
Mhm.
They just get hungry. It
It's
happens. You
it's
get
it's Grand Alliance Order. It's not Grand Alliance Good Guys.
Yeah.
exactly, Miles. You get it. You get it. And these are my two options right now, and I think Zinch is kind of winning out, oddly enough.
Nice.
I mean, embrace the chaos, my friend.
Exactly. It's very tempting once they get their hooks into you.
It is.
Chaos chaos is such a they I think for me it's the level of weirdness that each chaos army has.
Mm.
They're so gimmicky in what they do
Just teach me your ways, Matt. This is a
that
perfect
it's
time here. Get me.
endearing. It's just endearing how
Yeah.
gimmicky they are. um I
Hmm.
don't know. I
Hmm.
feel like Zinch, if you're gonna play an army that the rules themselves have character, right?
Yes.
Like it is a very different way of playing the game than playing a city's army or
Mm.
an orc army. Um, it's you're gonna be playing mind games. How many Zangors are you gonna bring back? How long is this horrors unit gonna sit around? How
Oh
many
God.
spawns can you bring back onto the table and pin
Yeah.
somebody with? Right?
Yeah. That's
There's
Can you
that's
still
all I was
summon?
thinking. That's
Can you
all I
still
was
summon
fun
Lords
thinking.
of
stuff.
Change?
You cannot summon Lords of Change anymore.
Nope.
So how it happens is
AFC factory over.
Yep.
yeah. I know that would have been great for the hot chicken meme. But what it is now is you can start with a spawn off the table, and they're
Okay.
in the spell lore. You can, if you kill a model, you can pop a spawn into combat with that unit.
Yep.
Okay.
And the unnamed chicken can spend a destiny dice to bring a replacement demon unit at half strength back.
Okay.
And they changed pink horrors so that they're their own individual unit, and then there's blues and blims. But the pinks can, if they die near the blue horror unit, bring back the dead blues as they transition over. You got to roll for it.
Interesting.
Yep.
And same
This
with the
is reset the clock because they've changed pink horrors again, fundamentally.
yes, yes,
Yep.
fundamentally yes. And the the unnamed chicken, the generic chicken, also has an aura of -1 to hit all demons with wholly within 12, which is nice.
Yep.
They have a lot of because they have a either it's illusionist, it's a command trait as well that can be out for that. That's only within the hero's combat range, but you can screw around with that enough, and at least protect your big chicken from being shot off the table. They're -2 to hit, so if you spend
Hmm.
that all out attack, they're still -1 to hit. And
Right.
in this world where things are base hitting on fours now, that
It
ain't
adds
bad.
Oh my
up. It
God.
adds up
That
real quick.
that was the absolute nail in my coffin against Lumineth was not the shooting in every phase. It was that my entire army is -1 to
Yep.
hit, and I can't spend
Yep.
command points. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because now that one the one per phase costs two, and that's
Yep.
half my command points gone.
Yeah. It's that. And if you ever run into Geminids, they
Mm.
turn off commands as well. Which, so what we're leaning here with the Zinch build is, and I can say the list because I'm pretty happy with this. I've been testing it a few games. as much as I do love my Cities of Sigmar, it's part of it is um, I bought the stuff, but it ain't gonna come in time. It turned out, as I
It
found
sounds
out.
like it sounds
So
like to me, Rocco, that this
there
choice is
is no
being made for
choice.
you by the
Yes,
U.S. Postal Service or
by
whoever.
fate,
I
by
was gonna
fate,
say it's
By
Miles.
just
fate.
as planned, but
Yes, in the great scheme.
ah, you love to see it. So my general's regiment is Kairos Fate Weaver because he does a bunch of cool stuff.
Hmm.
He has a passive instead of the -1 to hit passive. He broadcasts a +1 to casting and unbinding rolls within 12. He kept the change of the lowest d6 you roll on a spell cast to the highest d6. The generic chicken did not. And it has a one.
sadness.
Oh, go on.
Oh, sadness.
It is sadness. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Sadness.
And then he got a once per battle reaction when you declare a tactical gambit, a battle tactic.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Read the past. You can pick one battle tactic that you have already attempted. End
So good.
sentence.
It's so good. It's so
Yeah,
Nice.
good.
because it used to have a rider that
Take the
could.
flanks again.
Yeah, yeah. Take the flanks again.
Nice.
Or you could read the future and pick two battle tactics you haven't yet attempted. You can only complete one, but the other one doesn't count as being failed.
Yep, which
Um,
is also really good.
ah. And then he has a built-in spell, Arcane Suggestion, it stayed, where you can either make someone not be able to use commands, which is
Pretty
huge,
good.
make them -1 to hit and wound when they go to fight you.
Again, super
Gross.
good.
Yep. And then subtract one from save rolls from the target. The three options, you pop that. That goes off on an 8, which is, on an average dice roll, you roll a 7. One's a 3 and a 4. That bumps up to the
That's not
8.
bad.
You get
Yeah.
+1 to cast. That's a 9.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, things are looking good. Destiny dice don't allow for modifiers. Um, so that is what it is. But that's still pretty good. 16 health, 5 up save comes with a 5 up ward, though, which is really
Wait, but
nice.
so when you Destiny a casting roll, can you just say like one of them is going to be a five?
No,
So
I think
I
you have
Or
to
do
believe it's
use
a
you have to
both
put
dice,
both
modifier.
in?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do both dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can spend a one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Um, well, I'll
It's
double
one of
check
those
right
rare
now if that's
moments
a
where you really
modifier.
only care about one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm.
Don't hold me to it. Rocco's
Fair
got
Yeah.
the
enough.
rules right there. I'm sitting here
This
painting
is
a Puscoil Blightlord.
there
So
you go.
Mm.
So the actual rule is when you make a casting roll for this unit, you change the lowest d6 to match the highest. That's the passive mastery of magic, right? Now we're going to go into the Zinch rules here while we're talking to go into the battle trades because this is the Masters of Destiny. But, you roll the 9 dice, they're your destiny dice.
Hmm.
Let's see. The roll you would make is replaced with the roll on the destiny dice. If you wanted to roll a 2d6 roll, you must spend that many number of dice.
There you go.
Any
yep.
roll that have been replaced count as unmodified rolls, and they cannot be re-rolled, they cannot be changed, and they cannot be modified by friendly abilities. So I think
Interesting. So
that's our
you
modifier. We can't turn the 1 into the 6.
okay. Interesting. So yeah,
So
so,
you
Also,
so
have
you
to
want to
force a double six if you want a double
yes.
six. Gotcha.
yeah, that's
Also,
cool.
Destiny dice can be used for casting, unbinding, banishment, run rolls, hit rolls, wound rolls, save rolls, but most importantly, and I skipped it, I'm saving it for last, charge rolls in your turn. You cannot countercharge and drop the big double six there and get a 12-incher. Something to keep in
Oh,
mind.
sadness.
That's nice.
Oh
That
well.
the guaranteed 12-inch charge is
Mhm.
was so obnoxious last edition.
Oh
That was
god.
something
Yeah.
like
So I'm
it's
Yeah.
an
glad.
enlightened on disc. They
Yeah.
move whatever
Yeah.
80,000 inches in your turn,
Yeah.
and
Technical
then
term.
definitely charge 12 inches.
Yes.
That is a defined measurement that Miles just pointed out there,
He
by the way.
did. He did. So in the general's regiment, we got Kairos, we got the Chaos Spawn because Kairos can take anything in the army.
Nice.
And Chaos Spawns have funky keywords where really only a chicken or the what there's like 9 of them. The Lord live in the Silver Tower.
Oh, Gaunt Summoner.
Gaunt
God
Summoners can take. Thank
Summoners.
you. So he's got to go with Kairos' thing. We got a reinforced unit of Flamers of Tzeentch for that anti-infantry tech. And then we've got a couple units of Screamers just to be fast flanking, take the flanks
Yeah,
100
yeah.
points.
No, we just
Anti-monster's
talked about
nice.
how good having two little objective units are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if they're 100 points, that's perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second regiment is Zangor Shaman, a reinforced unit of Foot Zangor, a regular unit of Zangors to be more of a screen, and a unit of Skyfires because the Skyfires have an ability. Because I own a bunch of Skyfires, but they've I've gotten okay results, and we're trying to still tune this list up to be good. I've got a reputation to uphold here.
Hmm.
So, what their passive abilities are is they ignore negative modifiers to hit and wound rolls when they shoot, which
Cool.
is great for the return fire, covering fire, whatever, shooting your opponent's turn.
Good
But
to watch.
also, they have Judgment from Afar, where pick an enemy unit that this had been shot and taken damage from by the Skyfires, and you add one to hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Warflock units that
Yep.
target that same enemy unit. Now, Warflock are all the Zangor. That's our new keyword there. So we don't
Nice.
accidentally say, like, oh, we buff a unit of Zangor. Oh, is that Zangor Skyfire? Zangor on
Sure,
foot?
sure.
Whatever. So Warflock, baby. Baka, I've got instead of a Spoonman by Soundgarden, I've got Birdman. So
There
I've
you
got
go.
all these Birdmen running around, um, all being buffed by them because even in like Stormcast, you take I believe they're the Vigilors, they're the bow.
Vigilors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
they do good. Why can't I save a CP for all out attack with my big hammer of 20 Zangor with all their great weapons coming in? And then my final regiment is a Curseling and a unit of Kyric Acolytes to be a screen. The Curseling has an amazing ability, the Disruptor of the Arcane, where each time this unit unbinds a spell, roll a dice on a 4-up, subtract one from the power level of the enemy wizard to a
Yeah.
minimum of 0 until the
Yep.
start of your next turn.
Nice.
So if I get you, you try
The
to
no
go
wizard.
no wizard. You wanted to drop your incarnate. Sorry, bud. We
You
destiny dice that.
shutting
That's
down
rough.
plans. Shutting down plans.
Yep. And I'm a 3 drop, which is nice. I'm 2,000 points on the nose. And for my spell lore, I'm taking the Lore of Change that has the Bolts of Tzeentch, which is the D3 Mortal Wound spell that is unlimited. It has the Weird Flame keyword, which keys off of a bunch of stuff for Tzeentch, including giving my Flamers +1 to wound a burning unit.
Isn't
Nice.
the Bolt of Change a multi-use one?
It is. So each
Yep.
hero can cast it once in my hero phase.
Yep.
I got 3 good wizards for that. Kairos is 3 casts, so we're throwing all kinds of shit out here. And
Nice.
the Kirsling's actually a 2 caster. I have 6 casts in the army, which feels really nice. So Bolt to Change, Fold Reality, which is a teleport spell, which is pick a visible Disciples of Tzeentch unit, and they just teleport outside of 9. And because his Fold Reality before used to be, you try to bring back demons to a unit, and if you
That's
Always
right.
roll a
goof the
one.
roll, they die.
Always roll a one.
Yep, and it goes
Sadness.
off on a 7, which again with my +1 to casting is already looking great. And also the Curseling, I gave it the 9-eyed tome to have +1 to casting and banishment rolls.
Nice.
So that sucker is a two
Nice. Yeah.
caster casting on +2. And then we have the transform to spawn spell, what we're really here for after all the mortal wounds go. Start off by inflict D3 mortal wound damage to the target, which is great. It's cool. I've got 2 damage spells, which is
Nice.
honestly not that common anymore. A lot of them are buffing spells or debuffing spells,
Mm-hmm.
like 3d6 charges out there. Some people got damage, but here we are. So pop them for D3 mortal wounds. And if any models are slain, pick a friendly chaos spawn a Tzeentch unit that's in reserve or has been destroyed, and plop that sucker in there in combat range.
Nice.
Yep.
That's that's the thing that like I feel will like before they were annoying, this could be
Hmm.
really, really annoying because
Oh
combat
yeah.
range is 3 inches. So you can
Yep.
set him 3 inches away from combat, right?
Yep.
2.9 inches away.
So,
2.9.
sorry,
Yeah, whatever.
2.9999999.
Yeah.
Yeah, repeating. You got to have the line over this thing. I remember my math.
So you can tap potentially more than 6 inches because it's a 60 mil base for
Yeah, yeah.
spawn, right? 60 or
Big.
Yeah.
50.
So
So now
you
you've
can just
got
plug up a whole thing.
Oh
yep, you
yeah.
got a whole
Yep.
spread just sitting there with the spawn going, I just got here, man. I don't know what's going on.
And it's also like, Jimmy, you got some tentacles now. What happened, bud?
Exactly.
Mhm,
Yeah, that
mhm.
sounds like a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, Rocco, I'm
Yeah.
excited. We'll have to do. You'll have to tell us all about it.
Yes, this is the end of August. The last week of August, it'll be going down. And also, before I forget, because I also wanted to shout out Mason because friend of the channel, guest extraordinaire, gave me he sold me his spare Umbral spell portal so I could do the combo. And I was the
Nice.
one spell I was missing in the Twilight Sorceries because I'm not trying to be morbid, whatever. Even though I got a Purple Sun now too from him. I
Hmm.
really the spawn spell is a 12-inch range. Um, and I know the Umbral Spell Portal isn't as far as it used to be. I know everyone's like, it's not, 28 inches. I'm popping
It was
spells.
fucking annoying, is what it
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
was.
not a tree song bomb or
No.
Yeah.
whatever or a tree
Yeah.
whatever they are.
And
Revenant
listen,
Revenant bomb.
yeah, whatever it is. And it's, people can unbind from the other end of the portal. I get it. I get it. I don't care. I'm Zinch. I'm the spell dom now.
Yeah.
I can have a bunch of pluses to cast, and I'm just gonna go. And also, the first time you cast the spell through there, it's an additional +1 to cast through the spell
Nice.
portal.
Oh hell yeah.
So I could be at +3 to cast this spell from my foot dude, or +2 from Kairos, and
That's great.
someone's gonna be growing some tentacles real quick.
Mhm.
It looks like a Mon Calamari coming out of there, like little fish, or whatever the other one is. Now
Oh, Cthulhu man.
yeah, sure, we'll go with them.
One of the
Take your pick.
I do have to say that we should all pour one out for the poor Fate Master model. It was actually kind of
Yeah.
sad to see him go. I made a bunch of conversions for them for the last edition.
He
For
was
my army,
good.
I never play. My largest army of Zinch that I'll never play for some reason.
I had uh I had the metal one from way back in the day, that
Hmm.
Fate Master. Because I walked in, I was like, I need an Ahriman on disc, and that was I was in middle school. I had no idea
Oh,
what the fuck
sure.
I was looking for.
Yeah.
Close enough.
And then they were like, yeah, there is no model for that right now. You can get an
Mm,
Ahriman and you can put him on a disc. I was like,
sure.
cool. I was like, well, they're like, well, we have a wizard on disc. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, why
So he was
not?
my, and I didn't convert him at all. I was like, that's my Ahriman on disc. You're telling me that like he's already on the disc.
Yeah,
Anyway,
perfect. Also, the thing I was thinking of was the Quarren before anyone goes in the comments at me. They are squid people from Mon Calamari that aren't the Mon Calamarians. They're the other
we're,
race that lives there that have tentacles for faces that look like Cthulhu monsters. So, ha.
don't worry, Rocco. This is a podcast. There are no comments.
Goes on YouTube.
That's true. That's true. We
That's
do get some
true. It's very
comments.
true.
I mean, you don't pay me, but what are you paying me for here, man?
Yeah,
Listen.
right. Oh man. I
Yes.
think I'm excited to hear how it goes for you there, Rocco. I'm definitely pulling for this new more chaotic direction.
Yeah. Y'all have
Hey,
such a great positive influence on me. I gotta let loose and just go.
We'll get you
that's
into
right.
destruction armies at some point, and that's where
Okay.
the real fun. That's where the real Dark Souls happens.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. And Omegas are looking pretty good, Ma. Are you gonna stay at work or are you gonna go back to Gargans? What are you
I'm
feeling?
playing orcs right now just because Gary had borrowed them for most of all the lead up to Worlds. So like
Okay.
I've been without them. I need
Gotcha.
I need my quality work time.
You need
Sure.
you need your
Get very
checkered
grumpy.
fun. You need your
Yeah.
checkered past to
You,
come back.
you did paint your stuff really well too with those checkerboards, man.
Thanks,
That's
man.
Yeah.
oh, it's not the KO hats that I love, but
Yeah.
that's you
They'll
still
make a
did a
comeback
good.
too.
Oh
I have
yeah.
so much unpainted KO for whenever
Hmm.
I get really inspired to make more
Okay.
KO.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's the breakdown we have to do, right?
Seriously.
That'll be the special that'll be like a special edition. Miles back with
Hmm.
KO
Oh
shows
yeah.
up in a beanie.
Yeah.
I have a New York Mets beanie to wear too, so I stay on
There you
theme. This
go.
would be
It's
There
great.
you
it's a
go.
wintertime only army
Okay.
because I will
Okay.
sweat my face off wearing a beanie in the middle of summer.
I hear that. It's so humid here in DC. I took my dog for a walk. We came back. It looked like I was swimming.
Yeah. Oh,
All we get are fires up here.
oh no.
Miles escaped the dust and
that's
ash.
true. We
Mm.
just get a an errant volcano from Iceland every once in a while.
Hey,
Oh
that's pretty
yeah.
metal. I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's metal as hell.
Yeah.
Everyone is an honorary corn player over there.
Yeah, he's
Hmm. And
oh my God.
also, and I don't know if it's as good as. Hold on. Where do I have it? As Michigan's Great Lakes, they're actually freshwater seas. As a fun fact for our
Oh my
Michigan
God.
viewers
We were
Da-da-da-da.
for
and
everyone at
listeners.
home, we were going through the podcast download, like the Google Analytics, and Michigan is our largest number of downloads per state for the last three
Let's go,
months. So
Wolverine State. I don't care
exactly,
that you
yeah,
lost Toledo to Ohio.
yeah, go
They
state.
could keep
Whoa.
it.
Shade.
Yeah,
It's currently cherry season in Traverse City,
it
so
is. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Michigan's cherry capital. We just figured we'd throw in some good Michigan facts.
Yep. I actually went to a tournament in Michigan in the spring.
Nice.
Yeah, no, went for a buddy's birthday. A bunch of us got together and did it. The Bruce guy, Bruce guy. We never actually got clarification
Nice.
on the
No,
name of
no,
the
that's
brewery.
clever.
It
It's
was
good.
in a
It's a good
brewery. It
call.
was really fun.
Yeah. I think you've
Really good
mentioned it.
food.
Yeah, that's
Good cheese curds. Some may say better than Wisconsin, but I don't want
oh,
to start that. I don't know.
that's yeah. We don't need to start a border
Yeah,
war.
yeah. Not another one. They keep. They beat Wisconsin. Actually, they have the Upper Peninsula because of that.
Yeah.
True fact. True fact. Uh,
Sounds good. I think we've come to a good
Yeah,
place. We're
I
talking
think
about
this
cheese
is
curds and
yeah,
historical border wars.
I'm here for some fantasy border wars next, boys. I don't know.
Exactly. That'll be great.
It's back of the pack, baby.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Thanks everybody for listening all the way to the end. This has been a great chat, guys.
hey, glad to be here. Happy to be here officially. Thanks for putting
Yeah.
up with me. And I only got fired once,
You know, yeah.
I mean, that technically you quit there though. Like we
Oh, you're
didn't
right.
you
You're right.
preemptively fired yourself, which I
Well,
think is like a quit, right? That would be a quit.
I don't really, I'm not corporate enough to understand
Are
that.
we using EU law or
I
US law? I only
I
did
don't-
HR for US
You
companies.
put in, yeah, you got made redundant and in a long,
Shit.
complicated process.
uh
Oh no.
so you're sitting in the basement waiting for your stapler, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an old
Oh,
reference.
yeah, it's a good one.
Buddy.
Oh, it's bring
Oh
the whole
man.
place down.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening. Like, subscribe,
Go to Patreon.
do all the
Even.
stuff.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
merch.
Yep.
Merch store.
Hit the bell. The bell
Mhm.
thing. Apparently there's a bell you have to
Yeah,
It's a
ring.
bell.
get notified.
Yeah.
It's
We sell
true.
shorts now.
We do.
Yeah. And
Yep.
eventually we'll make shorts.
Oh,
Ooh, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Oh
we're
my
gonna do
God.
it. We got plans. We got plans. So if
I-
you want to learn the tools of the trade, you
Uh-huh.
come here when we're making shorts.
Yeah.
And then you buy the shorts and you wear them and watch
buy
the
the shorts.
shorts.
Oh my
Shorts,
God.
And it's a shortception,
Yeah.
right?
The short
So-
shorts.
So
Okay.
yeah. And go and check out Rocco's channel. He does a lot of
Oh, yeah?
long form, instructional, awesome stuff.
Mhm,
And
mhm. Short form. Short
welcome,
form.
Rocco. The first official Rocco
Medium
show.
form.
Medium form. Yeah.
Medium form. Medium form.
Yeah. I didn't even say I
And-
was weird in this one. Let's go.
And now It is time for the last word.
Okay. Who's it gonna be?
Me.